here I am. Oh, this should be good. Go ahead. And why not? There are many things to enjoy about being a crow in Antiva. You are respected, you are feared, the authorities go out of their way to overlook your trespasses, even the rewards are nothing to turn your nose up at. As for the killing part, well, some people simply need assassinating. Or do you disagree? Now there's an interesting word, innocent. How many men do you know who can claim to be truly innocent? But if you're talking generalities, such as children and relatives and bystanders and such, never on purpose. But it happens. It's unfortunate, but death comes to us all. If not me, then some wasting disease, or a fall down the stairs, or at the hands of a Darkspawn. It's all relative in the end. Death happens, as we like to say, and when I get paid for it, death happens more often. As far as enjoying the act of killing itself, why not? There is a certain artistry to the deed, the pleasure of sinking your blade into their flesh and knowing that their life is in your hands. It is not pleasure, per se, nothing sexual. It is more a sense of satisfaction, a feeling of power. Does that make sense? No matter. There are many things I did not enjoy about being a crow, of course. Having no choice, being treated as an expendable commodity, the rules, oh, so many rules. But simply being an assassin, I like it just fine. I will continue to do it if I can, even if I am not a crow. Honestly, could you picture me doing something else? Really? I can picture you doing a few things yourself. Of course, all these thoughts are moot. Chances are still good that you and I will perish, eaten by Darkspawn or slain by the crows at some point. Very gruesomely, I imagine. But it is pleasant enough to chat about. Come, let's move on while our boots still have some wear in them.
Well, aren't you sweet and attentive?
What's on your mind? Cure me? What, am I sick now? Even you know that you cannot cure the dead. And I'm not the only one dying. You are too. I'm just more efficient about it. Ah, child, your concern is heartwarming. But death comes to everyone, and it is not something to fear. People fear not death, but having life taken from them. Many waste the life given to them, occupying themselves with things that do not matter. When the end comes, they say they did not have time enough to spend with loved ones, to fulfill dreams, to go on adventures they only talked about. But why should you fear death if you are happy with the life you have led? If you can look back on everything and say, yes, I am content, it is enough. I think I've led a good life, a full life, and I, for one, am not afraid of death, whatever it may bring. They say that when you die, your spirit travels through the Fade and returns to the Maker. And after that, we'll see, won't we?
If there's anything I'm sure you'll be pleased with the goods.
The Circle of Magi stands ready to assist, Grey Warden, as do the Templars of the Chantry. There are always areas to improve on, Grey Warden. The most useful for my talents are runes. Even the Templars will be impressed by the powers you will command.
Indeed.
Yes.
Yes.
Fine weapon and arm. Move along, friend. Thank you.
So, Sheol, when you were standing there all that time, did you sleep?
I have no need to sleep. My body does not tire or do other flesh-related functions.
But don't you get bored? Wouldn't you want to dream at least?
I do not dream. This is what it does when it sleeps. It paws its nose and mumbles incoherently.
Yes, of course. I thought we all... Huh. You watch me?
I watch all closely when they are still at night. There is little else to do.
For hours and hours?
I count the breaths. It helps to overcome the overwhelming urge to crush their faces while they sleep.
Well, I won't be doing much of that anymore.
You're welcome here, friend. You're welcome.
I'm sure you need supplies.
Welcome back, friend. You'll be glad to learn that the Circle is well on its way to recovery. Do not worry. We are gearing up for battle as we speak. We will be there when the time comes. You've already done much for the Circle. Now you must see to your duty as a Grey Warden. I wish you well. Know you will always be welcome here.
I shall do it.
Enemies approaching!
I am told that it lost a large number of comrades in the battle with the Darkspawn.
Me? I guess I did, yes. I didn't know all of them that
Those
well.
who bring... Speak then.
Mostly just...
I'm unfamiliar with this name.
It's...
Yes?
It's not important. You don't need to know who it was.
I cannot remember if I ever had anyone important to me. All I remember is being given orders.
I would gladly be following Duncan's orders right now, if I could.
It enjoys following others. I find that odd.
You wouldn't understand. Don't worry, I don't expect you to.
Blessed are the peacekeepers, champions of the just.
It has begun.
Welcome to the wonders of Theda.
Enchantment? Enchantment!
You are wise to invest in the effectiveness of your...
We're in camp, so 'tis as... perhaps? Shall I consult my capricious nature and divine an answer for you? I am to be indulged. How exciting. Let me think. I say not. You are denied. Another time, my sweet. For now, I shall leisurely pretend disinterest.
What's on your mind? I try not to dwell too much on the mistakes of my past, of which there are many. I would go quite mad if I did that. But I do have one regret. The greatest misstep of my life, made even more grave because it had dire consequences for someone else. Years ago, I was assigned as mentor to a lad, Anarin. He was my first apprentice. Anarin was an elf, raised in one of the elven alienages, and he was very mistrustful of humans, especially humans in authority. All he knew of the humans was what he had seen in the alienage. He was very wary of us. What Anarin needed was time. Time to get used to his new home, time to emerge from his shell, so we could build a rapport. I gave him no such time. I was young and arrogant. He is a mage, I thought. He needs to grow up and act like one. I expected too much from him too quickly. I gave no consideration to his origin or his feelings, and he retreated further from me. All I could think of was how stubborn he was, how he was throwing away all his talent and his potential just to be difficult. Oh, very much so. Sometimes I would catch him practicing on his own, but if I asked him to show me what he could do, he would freeze up or fumble terribly. You cannot plant crops in the cold, wintry ground. You cannot teach a student who is closed off and unresponsive. Patience is what is needed, and I learned that too late to help him. Anarin ran away from the circle one night. I had berated him over some trivial, ridiculous matter that I no longer remember. I drove him away because of something utterly unimportant. He was a child, 14 at the time of his leaving. They had his phylactery, and they hunted him down. The phylactery is a vial of blood taken from a mage. But blood is connected to life, and your blood can be used to track you down. They called him Maleficar, a mage who practices forbidden magic, deserving of death. He was a child, misunderstood and lost. I begged the Templars to tell me if he suffered, if they gave him a quick death. I got no answers from them. I was his mentor, and they wouldn't even tell me what became of him. I should have known better. I had the best mentors. They were kind, compassionate. Why didn't I learn from them? I failed in Aaron. All I had to do was listen to him. He would try to talk to me, and I would tell him to concentrate on his spells. He talked about the alienage sometimes, and the Dalish. He always talked about looking for the Dalish elves. The Templars are well-trained and thorough. That he still lives, it would be a vain hope. The apprentices that came after Anarin benefited greatly from the lessons I learned from him. In a sense, he was my teacher, and I his student. And there it is. My story, my one greatest regret.
All right, but I get to stare at you luridly while you do so. My adventures? I'm hardly an old man just returned from across the ocean, am I? Should I shake my fist at nearby children while I talk about the good old days? Falling down a flight of stairs is an adventure. Falling into someone's bed, also an adventure. I am assuming what you're looking for are professional anecdotes. Let's see, my second mission ever for the Crows was a bit intriguing. I was sent to kill a mage who had been meddling in politics. In Antiva, nobody is too important to escape the reach of the Crows. They've killed kings and queens. That is simply how it is. As it turned out, the mage in question was quite a delightful young woman. Long, divine legs, as I recall. I caught her in a carriage on her way to escape to the provinces. After I killed her guard, she got down on her hands and knees and begged for her life. Rather aptly, I might add. So I joined her in the carriage for the night and left the next morning. Well, yes, twice, actually. Then she decided to try and use me instead. The woman had actually convinced me to speak to the Crows on her behalf. What can I say? I was young and foolish at the time. Then, as I was kissing her goodbye to return to Antiva City, she slipped on the threshold and fell backwards out of the carriage. Broke her neck. Shame, really, but at least it happened quickly. Then I found out that she had told the driver to take her to Janellen instead. She had planned to lose me in the provinces. I would have looked very foolish to the Crows. As it was, my master was very impressed that I had done such a fine job of making it look like an accident. The circle of Magi was unaware of foul play, and everyone was happier all around. I suppose, but she was dead. She didn't need to be happy. It was after that when I learned that one needn't let a pretty face go to your head. Professionalism was key. That's my moral of the day, you see. Well, there is you. But I'll point out that you did have to capture me and tie me up first. Every rule has its exception. Now that I've mentioned tying me up in that context, do we have extra rope about?
Indeed.
Indeed.
Yes. What are you doing in Haven? There's nothing for you here. What do you want? Ask and be on your way. Haven's always been here. My family knows no other home. Father Eirik is our spiritual leader and guide.
Revered father? I've never heard of this.
It's always been thus in Haven. We do not question tradition. Our ways are not the ways of the lowland cities. The urn is nothing but a legend. I do not know who Brother Genetivi is or what he says. However, I'm sure people can convince themselves of anything. No. We do not appreciate lowlanders looking about our home as though it was some sort of zoo. Who? Perhaps revered Father Eirik will know of whom you speak. Unfortunately, he's ministering to the villagers at the moment and cannot be disturbed. I suggest you seek your brother elsewhere. It's always been thus in Haven. We do not question tradition. Ask and be on your way. We keep to ourselves. We see no need to announce our presence to the world. It's more peaceful that way. Then perhaps you should return to the lowlands. You may trade for supplies at the shop if you wish. Then I suggest you and your companions leave.
They are hiding something. 'Tis obvious, is it not?
Interesting strategy. Tell me, do you intend to keep going north until it becomes south and attack the Archdemon from the rear? Is it? I see. I was mistaken then. It seemed to me that we were climbing a mountain in the middle of nowhere on some frivolous whim of yours. How will this help him? I have no doubt of your faith. I am beginning to doubt your sanity, however. The Archdemon is our goal, and we are heading away from it to find the charred remnants of a dead woman. You haven't thought this through. It is, however, a wise plan. I trust you with my life, but this is not my life at risk. It is our goal. Be careful, Kadan. I have spoken my mind. Let us waste no more time here.
As you like.
You sing a great deal.
Yes, I do. Music lifts my spirit. Would you like me to stop?
I didn't say that. Was that part of your chant?
No, it was a ballad about a highwayman and the tavern girl who loved him. Could you not tell?
All your language sounds the same to me. I thought you were singing of vegetables, actually.
Come, Bonnie Lynn. Tell us where you've been. Were you up, were you down? Chasing rabbits round the town. Come, Bonnie Lynn. Tell us where you've been. Come, Bonnie Lynn. Who are you? You shouldn't be here. In the chantry. Mother wanted me to go to the chant, but she doesn't get to tell me what to do anymore. I'm sick of listening to Father Eirik, along with the babies and the girls. Soon I'll be old enough to go up the mountain and... Don't know. Just is that way. Lowlanders don't belong here. What? Why are you looking at me like that? Haven is Haven. But I have a secret. Do you want to see? Don't know. It's lucky. I keep it with me. Don't tell anyone, all right?
I've heard stories about the Kunari, you know.
Oh?
They conquered nearly all of the north, Tevinter, Rivain, and Tiva. Much of the land was laid waste. In the northern kingdoms, they say the Kunari are implacable, relentless, more like a landslide than an invasion. It took 3 exalted marches to drive them back to the sea.
We'll do better next time.
I don't like this. It's almost too quiet. Something's not right. I can feel it.
'Tis a quiet enough village. Looks can be deceiving, of course.
I shall.
We have nothing you'd want. Please go.
A fine gift. You have my thanks.
Who are you? You're not from Haven. We don't get very many visitors. How would you describe the place you know only as home? No, I've never heard that name. I don't have much, but I suppose you can take a look.
I was not expecting to find something so unsettling.
human blood. I just do. I also know that no one can lose that much blood and live.
Vashaden.
Yes. Let us do this. That smell. This is uneven leather, isn't it? I would know that anywhere. I don't know how you knew I was missing my homeland, but this does the trick nicely. Thank you. But I'm not finished admiring them yet. Can you smell that? Like rotting flesh. Just like back in Antiva City. Now if only you could find me a prostitute or two. A bowl of fish chowder and a corrupt politician. I'd really feel like I was home. And the feet as well. Marvelous.
I'm here.
You're still here? I told you there's nothing for you in Haven. I think you've quite outstayed your welcome, stranger. Trespasser! Trespasser! Intruder! Sound the alarm!
Yes, of course.
What are you doing? That's private! I don't see how that is any of your concern. No! You have no right!
We might.
Try not to look too incompetent. It's embarrassing. Put them back. I am done with that one.
Why are we always attracting danger?
Let's make this quick. I'll try to be merciful. Make a preserver. I never liked this part. I need to rest him. I can't give this up.
Indeed.
Yes.
Braska.
Yes.
Enemy ahead. Watch out.
Be careful! I got it!
It sounds like they are singing the chant in there. Maybe we should have a look.
Is everyone in the chantry? These villagers are a remarkably pious bunch.
So perhaps this place is not so abandoned after all.
We are blessed beyond measure. We are chosen by the holy and beloved to be her guardians. This sacred duty is given to us alone. Rejoice, my brethren, and prepare your hearts to receive her. Lift up your voices and despair not, for she will raise her faithful servants to glory when her...
Ah, welcome. I heard we had a visitor wandering about the village. I trust you've enjoyed your time in Haven so far?
This, my brothers, is what happens when you let an outsider into the village. They have no respect for our privacy. He will tell others of us if we let him. Word will spread, and then what? You, stranger, do not understand our ways. You would bring war to Haven in your ignorance. We don't owe you any explanations for our actions. We have a sacred duty. failure to protect her would be a greater sin. All will be forgiven.
Why are you
Try not to look too incompetent. It's embarrassing.
Ask me anything. I'll do it. I shall.
Who are you? They sent you to finish it. Me. Finish me off. While I would like the pain to stop, I would prefer it if death were not involved. My name is Genetivi. I am a Chantry scholar, and, well, some would say treasure hunter. But that was back in the good old days. Days like today really show me how much age has caught up with me. What do you think? Weeks of scant food and water, the torture. Oh, I've never felt better. Wait, please. The weeks I've spent here have made me crotchety. I apologize. I need your help. The leg's not doing so well, and I can't feel my foot.
I can set the leg and ease some of the pain, but he'll need a lot of rest in order to heal.
I don't have time to rest now. I'm so close. The urn is just up that mountain. The Arl is sick. Will he live? Politics never did anyone any good. The Arl is a noble soul, but the ashes will surely cure him. Haven lies in the shadow of the mountain that holds the urn. There is an old temple there built to protect it. The door is always locked, but I know what the key is. Ivric wears a medallion that opens the temple door. I've seen what he does with it. Yes, that is your key. Take me to the mountainside and I will show you. It is not that far, and will you let me lean on you? For the urn, any pain is worth enduring. All right. What is on your mind? Yes, of course. How could I forget? Eirik said they were ambushed, some killed, a few brought back to Haven to be questioned. He was so self-righteous about it, so smug. He seemed pleased that he had tortured and murdered these men. I see. She must have been desperate. She couldn't have known she was sending them to their deaths. Let's just talk about something else now, shall we? Well, it wasn't exactly what I expected it to be. They call themselves the Disciples of Andraste. They are very, very devoted. One could say fanatically so. They must be here to protect the urn, but they speak of Andraste as though she was still alive. I'm old enough to know that anything is possible, child. Was there something else you wanted to discuss? Pure luck. I wasn't even looking for any village. I had always assumed that the temple that housed the urn would be lost to time and abandoned. It took years of study to narrow down its location to this range of mountains. Then, completely by accident, I came across an unrelated document that mentioned a village called Haven. It's a long story. I had asked Waylon to fetch several books from the Denerim Chantry. Among them was one I didn't ask for. 100-year-old log of Chantry business transactions. In it was an account of a dwarven trader who had failed to transport goods from Orzammar that had already been paid for. There was a blizzard, and his caravan was turned off the path. They eventually came across a small human village that was not on any map. The trader tried to gain entry to take shelter from the storm. Unfortunately, they were turned away and had to take refuge in a cave. When he woke up that next morning, everyone and everything was gone. He managed to find the road again and made it to Denerim, but he never saw the caravan again. It was never stated. It became clear from the dwarf's story that this village would be near the temple, and it occurred to me that they might know something about the urn, and I decided to find the village myself. And that's how this trouble started. I was looking for answers. I thought the villagers would know something about the urn. I was right, they do. They're just not willing to share it with outsiders. When I mentioned the urn, Eirik assured me he would take me to the temple in the morning. He said a room had been prepared for me. I didn't realize it would be this charming place. They seemed intent on finding out personal information about me, where I grew up, things like that. How do you know? An imposter? What happened to the real Waylon? Oh, poor Waylon. I should never have dragged you into this. Make us take you into his hands, my boy. He believed in me, even when I lost faith in myself. I will honor his memory. Was there something else you wanted to say? All right. What is on your mind? I certainly hope the ashes will save him. The legends speak of their miraculous powers. There are many stories of pilgrims being healed, the blind seeing, and the lame dancing in joy. Perhaps it is Andraste that does this. Perhaps it is belief itself. By believing the ashes are magical, you make them so. Anyway, That can be discussed once we actually have the ashes, and the Arl is better. All right. Are you ready to go then? That's wise. There are many more villagers than the ones you've already dealt with. I see you're back. Are you ready to go? Ah, good. Help me up here. I'll try not to slow us down. Here we are. Give me the medallion, and let's see if I remember. Yes, you see, it can be manipulated, just like this. And there. A key to open the way. There are very few keys like this left in the world, but I have seen some. When you find the right combination, it just feels right. It is hard to explain. Now, let's see if we can open this door. There should be a place to insert this. Oh, what I would give to have seen this hall in all its splendor, as it was meant to be. Still, sweep away the ice and the snow, and traces of beauty remain. I'm sorry, what? I was a little distracted, I apologize. These carvings were created just after Andraste's death, and they may reveal things about her life that we do not yet know. I think I need more time to study these statues and carvings. I could not keep up with you with my injuries. I should be safe. I don't think there are any villagers here. Go. I will be all right. Perhaps my destiny was only to lead you to the Anne. It was designed to protect the Anne from those who would steal it or do harm to it, namely the Tevinter Imperium. I'm not sure. The legends were never very specific on that point. Only the faithful shall lay eyes on the sacred ashes. Death and misfortune await the unbeliever. The Maker's gaze has fallen on Andraste's final resting place. He weeps for his beloved, and his wrath at her betrayers endures. That is what the legend says, and the Maker may indeed watch this place. Read between the lines, however, and you'll understand that it is merely a simple truth draped in hyperbole and metaphor. After all, no one wants to hear, Willie toiled for many a year to perfect the curious mechanisms that would send a sharpened spike up the arse of the unwary intruder. I think my decision to stay here was the best one, don't you? I'll be right here if you need me. Now I need something to write on.
Horsemen.
Of all the...
Indeed.
Yes.
Indeed.
Maker's breath. Look at it all.
I can't believe all this is still standing. This temple must be thousands of years old.
An ancient temple, lost to all but a select few. Magnificent.
As you like. We might want to walk softly. Too easy! Yes, of course.
Blast it.
Yes.
More books. We should burn a few to warm ourselves up, I should think.
I don't suppose anyone won't mind if I borrowed a book or two.
You think any valuable tomes might still be in a decent condition? I am ready.
You need me? Why are we always attracting danger?
We must fight! Now we do battle.
As you like. This won't take long. Watch next time.
right ahead. Right away. Enemy ahead. Watch out.
We must fight. We must do it right. Gain the advantage!
As you like. We might. As you like. I'll do it. It's done. We might want to walk softly here.
This
You're back. Have you reached the urn? I am glad to see you are safe. Are there many of them? I think so. I haven't seen sign of anyone. You must be keeping them busy. If I hear anything strange, I'll be sure to hide. Oh, did you discover something fascinating within the temple?
What would you like?
Ask me anything. I'll do it. Enemy ahead. Watch out. Yes, of course. It's done.
Braska.
Yes.
We might want to walk softly. I can't keep this up. I can't keep this up. You forced our hands. I can't keep this up. Trap right ahead. I shall. Hey.
To be merciful. That's one for me. I never liked this part. Oh, bastard. Make a preserver. Another corpse on the pile.
Why are we always attracting danger?
That's one for me! Watch out! Make him brave!
On my way. We might want to walk softly here. so jealous of Andraste's power that he betrayed her to the Imperium, which resulted in her.
I suppose this is supposed to be some fool of religious significance?
Is this a male or a female? I can hardly tell.
Right away. It's done.
Command me. I see. As you wish.
Of course.